So I go to school at BYU, Idaho, which is a church-run school by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormons. And this is what I'm learning in my college-level human anatomy and physiology class. Every diagram is censored to block out the genitalia and female breasts. His reasoning was because there are freshmen in the class who are too young for that, or they will learn about it when they're older or when they're further along in their major. My favorite is how we're going to go over the reproductive organs without being able to see them. So I don't know how that one makes sense. A good chunk of these freshmen that are too young to see the human body in an anatomically correct way will also be married within the next couple semesters, because that's just what's normal here. This does not make sense to me.
Well, once those folks are married, then at least maybe they'll get a chance to understand what the human anatomy class is teaching them, because they can't see it there. So of course, that's BYU Idaho, a student that's exposing some of these courses. One of them in particular, the human anatomy and physiology class here. And they're censoring these body parts because that's disgusting, it's nastiness. There's other students there that did point this out as well. There's another tweet here that point out, in today's edition of WTF, college level anatomy class puts censor bubbles because foreign, I guess, organs, the nervous system, and vein diagrams. I don't censor these for my kids of any age. I can't, you guys. So this is what's going on now. They're pushing all of this censorship because if you see breasts or maybe even genitalia, again, what is it that's gonna happen to you? Scroll through a few more of these tweets, you guys, because there are pictures of what's happening. Because other folks said it's kind of ridiculous that in my human anatomy class, they censor parts of the body. Everyone doesn't get that, they just don't understand how this is a possible normal thing. Next one, for those asking, yes, literally every picture of the human body is censored. He said today it's because there are freshmen in the class and they aren't ready to see these things till they're older or till they're further in their major. Oh my God, hey Dan, if you have to see a doctor, check their credentials. If they graduated from BYU Idaho, they might not know what to do with you. They'd be like, what's this thing? Oh my God, get it out of here.
I have some breaking news for the dean of BYU Idaho. You run a college, they're gonna run into those parts at one time or another. Like, I'm sorry.
Not at BYU, bro.
There are some memes online of some kids figuring this out by themselves. And to make this like a little bit of a serious point, like in America broadly, even in supposed like secular schools or teaching, right? Like we just do a really bad job at teaching people about sex and proper sexual health and proper sexual education around sexual harassment prevention and awareness, consent, all those things. We do a really bad job of teaching that. Like the year after I was in high school and middle school, they just cut those programs entirely and just stopped teaching them, even in America, right? Even in a public school. So I think across the board, every school has to rethink how they make sure kids and young adults are learning about these things in a responsible, mature way. But the issue isn't that, oh no, we can't teach them about this at all. We can't, because the place they're going to look for and find erotic imagery is in a book where you can see the lungs and the veins of a person and like all of that. Like these people clearly aren't thinking. You can tell because these are the books they're coming from.
If these images turn you on, you just so down bad it's not even worth even discussing anymore. Really fast, because as we squeeze this in, there was a response from the department chair talking about this. Really fast, let's jump to this next video here.
Now the department chair, the way he handled it, I do have some issues with, because he got up and spoke to us and said it was really wrong what they did, and that they'd been using these slides in the past, and just haven't changed it. And he said the reason they started using censored slides was for a couple reasons. So the first reason he gave was because one girl felt uncomfortable studying these images in public. She didn't mind the images themselves, but at the library where people could see like a human body with all sorts of body parts out, she said that made her uncomfortable. So that was the first reason he gave to why the censorship started. The second reason was because of a girl who was sexually assaulted and was uncomfortable with seeing the images, gave her PTSD. My problem with that is that my school doesn't have a good history of handling sexual assault cases. And girls have been kicked out for being sexually assaulted because they were doing something wrong. So it's really, really hard for me to believe that a department would change a course to accommodate one girl who was sexually assaulted when that's definitely not been the case for any sexual assault cases I've heard of here in the past.
Sounds like BS to me from that response from the department chair.